Good morning. It's time for day 2 of this road trip adventure. The first stop of my day is in Anago, Wisconsin, the ancestral home of the Polish side of my family when they arrived in the early 1900s, and also a hotbed of bar sign activity. Arriving into town, I already had 5 signs identified on my map, and after scouting them all out to make sure they still exist, they all still existed, and I found 4 more additional signs. I won't be spending all day shooting every sign because some are in bad light, and I want to save some for some other seasons, as this is an area of Wisconsin I do get to quite frequently. Well, yesterday I had more or less clear skies to photograph under, which was nice. Today it is partially cloudy, so I have to deal with these little son of a bitch clouds that keep blocking the sun and casting shadows over my subject, so I get to wait, and wait, and wait, and then hit the shutter right when the sun peeks out from the cloud, and right before it has a chance to slide back behind the cloud and cast the sign back into the boring shadows. Still in Anago for the second photograph of the day, Vicky and the Vets. I have also taken note that the red stripe on the old style signs tend to be vanished quite often. Makes me wonder what kind of the production differences were between the old style and Pabst Blue Ribbon signs that make the red stripe disappear so frequently on the old style signs. Regardless, I once again have to deal with these son of a bitch clouds that are constantly blocking the sun and changing my light. Pelican Lake, Wisconsin, the town where, when I was about 8 years old, I discovered coffee. And that day, I drank so much coffee that I epically wet the bed to the point that my family still brings it up to this day. But enough about my childhood, let's look at this scene we have in front of me. Well, I want to make note that in this particular photo, the gas price sign in the background. While this modern style of sign I think happened to be uglier than Baby Pigeon, I'll still include it because of one reason that I absolutely love. Someday in the future, 20, 40, 90 years from now, that someone's going to look at this sign and they're going to see that gas price, and no matter what happens, it's going to be cool to them. Either the price of gas goes down a whole lot, unlikely, and they go, wow, look how expensive gas was back then. Or it goes up a whole lot and they go, wow, look how cheap gas was back then. Or we finally get rid of gas and only use electric cars and they go, wow, people had gas back then. Today I'm changing things up and driving without a predetermined route like I had done yesterday. So after photographing each sign, I'm then looking at my map and deciding which sign to head to next. I'm liking that this is adding an additional feeling of wanderlust to today's traveling. It is a 30-minute drive to the next location that I have marked on my map to go photograph. But it also is a useful 30 minutes as the route I chose to drive ended up taking me past 3 new signs that I already hadn't had on my map. Continuing north, I ended up on one of the same highways that I took while heading south yesterday. A boon to my photographing today, as I once again passed by the location that I was most upset at having to pass by yesterday. And as an added bonus, today the sun is hitting the sign just right. Look at that, another faded old style stripe. I love how occasionally I find a bar that looks like it should be abandoned. Like this one in Butternut, Wisconsin. Like on the outside it's all rough and tumble and doesn't look that hot, but when I checked their Facebook page, recent activity, people checking in, posting pictures, having fun. My map for Butternut showed 3 signs clustered relatively close to each other. After shooting the first one, I took off looking for the next 2, only to find that the second sign, which should have been on this building here on the right, is now gone. The third sign, right around the corner here, also had some really bad lighting, so skipping it for now, and keep heading north. The first sign in Mellon, Wisconsin happened to be wonderfully lit, except that this truck parked in front of the building was really getting in the way of me figuring out a good composition. One of the rare cases where I don't like an automobile in the photo. But as small towns in Wisconsin are to be, I just walk around the corner and there's another sign waiting for me to photograph it. This sign as well also had a vehicle in front of it, which was making it not easy for me to figure out a composition for the scene, as I felt that the truck was ruining it. But as luck would have it, right when I decided to actually just take a picture of the truck inside of it, the guy who owns it walks out of a building, gets in, and drives away. Shortly after making this exposure, the sun that was poking out through the forming clouds was completely overtaken by the clouds, and the day just got darker and grayer, and eventually started raining and just got ish. So the day was over, drove home, developed the film, scanned the film, and made this video. And if you made it this far in the video, why not take a moment and smash the out of that subscribe button? There will be more of these.